Now, this intersects interestingly with Jordan Peterson's recent claim that with his book, We Who Wrestle with God, he can permanently demolish atheism. Check this out.
You asked me earlier, what would I consider success with this book? I don't think that you'll be able to read this book and understand it and be atheistic. I think I can demolish the atheistic argument permanently. And it's a weird thing, because it's not like all of a sudden people are going to throw themselves at the feet of God and worship. It's like it requires a reconsideration of what we mean by belief. And I walked through some of it. It's like, do you believe in the good? Well, the difference between believing in good and believing in God is it's a very narrow difference.
Now, keep in mind, Dr. Peterson tends to make very elusive statements. You'll ask him if he believes in God, and he'll reply very non-committally with, that depends on what you mean by belief. Whereas you can ask him if he believes in hell, and he'll reply with extreme commitment. If you've studied any amount of history, he says, and you don't believe in hell, then you're an idiot. Even so, the way he frames belief is this way.
What you believe is what you're willing to die for, fundamentally. It's what you're committed to, or live for, if you think about it as life in the most extensive manner. It's a matter of commitment.
What you'll bet your life on. And suddenly we're sounding very Pascalian here. As Pascal wrote, I know not who put me into the world, nor what the world is, nor what I myself am. I am in terrible ignorance of everything. I know not what my body is, nor my senses, nor my soul, not even that part of me which thinks what I say, which reflects on all and on itself, and knows itself no more than the rest. I see those frightful spaces of the universe which surround me, and I find myself tied to one corner of this vast expanse without knowing why I am put in this place rather than in another, nor why the short time which is given me to live is assigned to me at this point rather than at another of the whole eternity which was before me or which shall come after me. I see nothing but infinites on all sides, which surround me as an atom and as a shadow which endures only for an instant and returns no more. All I know is that I must soon die, but what I know least is this very death which I cannot escape. As I know not whence I come, so I know not whither I go. I know only that, in leaving this world, I fall forever either into annihilation or into the hands of an angry God, without knowing to which of these two states I shall be forever assigned. Such is my state, full of weakness and uncertainty. And from all this I conclude that I ought to spend all the days of my life without caring to inquire into what must happen to me. Perhaps I might find some solution to my doubts, but I will not take the trouble, nor take a step to seek it. And after treating with scorn those who are concerned with this care, I will go without foresight and without fear to try the great event, and let myself be led carelessly to death, uncertain of the eternity of my future state. Who would desire to have for a friend a man who talks in this fashion? Who would choose him out from others to tell him of his affairs? Who would have recourse to him in affliction? And indeed, to what use in this life could one put him? In truth, it is the glory of religion to have for enemies men so unreasonable, and their opposition to it is so little dangerous that it serves, on the contrary, to establish its truths. Now, before you let the nearest village atheist convince you that this sort of Pascalian wagering has been debunked, let me read you this section from the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy on Pascal's wager. Pascal's wager vies with Anselm's ontological argument for being the most famous argument in the philosophy of religion. Indeed, the wager arguably has greater influence nowadays than any other such argument, not just in the service of Christian apologetics, but also in its impact on various lines of thought associated with infinity, decision theory, probability, epistemology, psychology, and even moral philosophy. And why is it so influential across so many fields to this day? Because it's very rational to recognize the vastness of the mysteries all around us, the smallness of our time on earth, and the vast importance of deciding what we will entrust ourselves to during this brief time. Now ask yourself, here is a person surrounded by the vast mysteries of this life, and they look around and they go, I don't know what this life is all about, but since I'm not sure, I'll just dedicate myself to undermining Christianity, despite how demonstrably good it is for people's well-being. I'll do what I can to empty their life of all hope and purpose and meaning, even though I'm not offering anything to replace it. Such a person would do well to put a pause on their efforts and honestly ask themselves, what am I betting my life on? And is this a wise bet? If you're rational and you put honest effort into answering that question, you will conclude what Dr. Peterson and Pascal and myself have concluded. The atheist bet is absurd. anyone who really thinks it through will reach the same conclusion.